everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and we're doing a second attempt at this one. Last week I tried to get ready with me video, and for some reason, just as I started it, the camera decided to die on me. So we're going to try again. So the first thing I do is I always put my hair up in rollers so that it gets the hair out of my way, particularly because, you know, I have greying hair, so there's nothing worse than the look of brown makeup all over your hair. Alright, the next thing I do is I use Lubriderm as a moisturizer. So, and all I do is I just take a lid like this and I put a splotch of it, a splotch being a very well-known makeup term. Take a splotch of it and literally just cover my face. Now, what I like about Lubriderm is it isn't greasy, and so all I'm doing is literally moisturizing, and I always moisturize my earlobes as well, because I know I'm going to end up with makeup on there, so all the chins, good idea to get those as well. Now, this might not be everybody's idea of the way to moisturize, but I look at my skin. I've spent 17 years in the blazing African sun without all the right protection. And I'm going to be 69 in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and I don't think my skin's doing too badly. Do you? Alright, so that's it. Now, before we start doing this, I just got to show you a couple of things. I'm sort of red here. I've got funny blotches here. I've got a strange discoloration here. I've got a birthmark type thing here, a mole. I've got discoloration here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and work to get rid of all of that and try and get a pretty even skin. The products I'm using today are two lots. The first one's my foundations from Maybelline, and they are called Fit Me, and I love them. I'll show you why in a minute. And the powders I'm using are both Rimmel, and they're called Stay Matte, and I absolutely adore these powders. They stay on all day. You know, I can come home with basically the same look that I left home with, so that's got to be good value for money. And it's great if you have to go out after work, because you know that basically you're looking the same as you did. Alright, so here we go. So the first thing, and I put a warning up here, I might not do it the right way, I just do it my way. So I take the darker, slightly darker foundation and I put it in the places. Now you'll see that this foundation is pretty much my skin color. So, I think you probably all know more about this than I do, but I do across the brow, I do in the areas here, I do along the chin line, leaving out this bit, because that's where we're going to put the lighter colour, which is along here, down the nose, Cupid's bow, and here. I left one out of the dark one, let me show you why. I then do the big C. I always think, I'd hate it if the doorbell rang just now. I don't know if any of you relate to that. And then along here. Okay. And the one I forgot with the darker one, it's quite simple. It's here. then yeah, okay. Now that looks pretty. Looks pretty. Let me say no more. Rightly or wrongly, I now take a sponge and I work at blending those in a little bit. Now, what I'm really interested in is blending the lighter colour into the darker colour. So that's very simple to do. So I try not to touch the darker colour too much. I just did then, but never mind. So I'm really patting rather than wiping. And there we go. Now the other thing is, I always pat my earlobes too. Now that's the one time I do drag a bit, because I want to drag whatever colour this is here across my earlobe so that there isn't a stark difference. And of course the other famous one that so many people will tell you about is always remember to do this. That is to drag your colour down and blend it into the rest of your skin. Okay. Pretty easy. So now what I do is I do exactly the same thing but with powder, which is really very easy. So I'm taking the darker one first, which is only slightly darker. Hang on, let me get the two of them up for you so you can see. I'm not Kim Kardashian, I don't need a dramatic change, I just want a subtle one. So here I go. Now if I'm using the wrong brush, get over it. So I'm going to brush the dark one over the brow, over the forehead, and here, here, and we're going to do here, and then we're going to change colours. Here we go. Going to do it up here. Exactly the same thing. Really, that we did. And then just blend in here. Now the question is, can you see that it's covered up most of the funny stuff I had here, here, and here? And I'm not using concealers, I'm just using regular foundation. So I think it keeps it looking pretty normal. A little bit of discoloration, but you know, it actually does do a great job of evening everything out. The last thing I do, and it's just my way of doing it again, this is called Physician's Formula, I think, and it's a blush, and I just literally go boom, boom, and I just blend it out. Done. Very simple. Now for the wrist, I actually have a very quick way. This is the way I do my makeup every morning. when I go to work, and it works really well for me in a hurry because I don't have a lot of time to mess around. So I'm going to take 2 different colours. Now you could put the water, you can hear running, because I like to put my eyeshadow on wet. So I'm going to take, first of all, a dark colour, which would be this one. Load up the brush, and I'm just going to go in the crease with it. And as you can see, I'm not too worried about it being a perfect line. And there's a reason for that. Now, you remember that I've got both moisturizer, foundation and powder all in here, so I can just play with that a bit without too much trouble. This one I did the wrong way around for me, so I'm going to go that way. I normally do this two-handed, so it's difficult for me to do it one-handed. There we go. Then I just wash off my brush. I've got some water here. Clean it up a bit, and then I'm going to take a lighter colour, which today I'm going to use this colour right here. And the lighter colour, which I use 3 colours now that I think about it, I'm just going to put on the lid. Going from the outside in, just to give me a bit of colour there. It looks terrible, doesn't it? That's okay, don't panic. And then lastly, I'm going to take a light colour, which I'm going to use this one. Hope you can see this. And I'm going to put that in here. I've loaded up both sides so I can do that. Very simple. Then, this is my trick. It works really well for me. This is my special brush that I made. And I just wet the brush and then just take the most of the moisture off. And this is what I do. And it does a wonderful job of just balancing out all the colours. And you know it's always the perfect contrast up here because it's a mixture of the colours that you've used. Very simple, very easy to do. And then if you are using, hang on, I'm just leaning forward. If you're going to use eyeliner, I've got sort of greyish colours here, so I'm just going to put some grey eyeliner. Which broke. Huh. Doesn't normally happen. Must be the end of it. Oh, that'll be nice. It is! Okay, so I've got one eye that is grey with this. It's the end of the eyeliner. Only with me, right? And then I'm going to only go from halfway here. Get that? And then I'm just going to join the two up. Like that. I always like the faces I pull when I'm doing this. How about you? So very simple, straightforward, very quick. It's what I call my everyday makeup. And last but not least, I'm going to take my mascara. I just bought some new Maybelline Colossal. Remember not to pump the mascara. Get too much air into it, it'll dry it out more quickly. And so what I'm looking for is not, I think I just pumped it, just having said don't do that. Okay, so as I said, very, very simple, very quick, not overdoing anything, and that will last all day. Alright, so let me take out the curlers, and by now, just being in curlers, my hair will have got body. And then I just brush it out. Pull it down, and pull it up. Put on some spray. After I put the spray on, I always do one other thing, which is really important. I have a double crown at the back, so as soon as I put the spray on, I turn around and I check the back and just pull out the double crown. There we go. Try not to play with it too much. But of course, now that I'm just trying to show you I'm playing with it, I'd like it to look pretty frazzled, I think would be the word. Alright, and one last thing. I think you all know I love my Mood Matcher lipsticks for everyday wear. Why? They just are such fun to use. I love the fact that you can put on a blue lipstick and it turns out to be, well, let's see. Turns out to be a darker version of the other one. And I'm ready to go to work. This is DearMamaSal saying, hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. Bye bye for now.